The MCU. It's really insane to think that not that long ago, it was agreed that this was the peak of superhero movies around the globe. Constantly, the Marvel Cinematic Universe was hitting milestones and records like it was nothing. I mean, it was well deserved, especially with movies like Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2, and of course, let's not forget the greatest MCU movie of all time, Avengers: Infinity War. I mean, it's my favorite. To just think that all of this actually started with a C-tier hero at best at the time, Iron Man, is insane. And after they made Tony Stark a household name, they paved the way for a story that lasted a whole 11 years. Then to end it with a satisfying conclusion with Avengers Endgame, which at this point put Marvel Entertainment in the movie making Hall of Fame. With all of this beautiful history that Marvel has given us over the years, you just wonder.
Jesus Christ.
Y'all are trash. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart.
What the hell happened? Looking at Marvel then versus now is two totally different entities. A place that was known for their good writing and storytelling is now just unrecognizable due to the new pandemic that is lazy writing, poorly interpreted characters, and just downright horrible villains. I'm talking about you. The MCU is essentially doing a complete 360 of what they were doing before, and it's so sad. Now, we can't just sit here and act like everything's been okay at Marvel Studios. I mean, we had the pandemic, which messed up things like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, they had to take a whole plot point out due to it covering a virus, which, especially now, how sensitive people are nowadays, it makes sense why that was done. Even though I feel like due to how tight Disney is holding their reputation, it kind of becomes the reason why certain projects end up sucking. And the next point is, wait, that was it. I can't even defend these people anymore. Now, there's a big elephant in the room, which is the whole point of this video. I've tried not to talk about this in the past due to how I'm trying to build my channel, which is also why I never covered the egregious case of Ezra Miller.
Oh, can I get a selfie with you, Mr. Frog?
Unless you've been under a rock, you should know that Jonathan Majors has been fired from Marvel due to him being found guilty. See, I don't know much about this case, but I do know that due to how sensitive this topic is for some people, I'm gonna gloss over it. So let's just say he was found guilty for recklessly touching his partner.
Hey man, you need to sit your motherfucking ass.
Yo, I'm just kidding. He just hurt her finger. He just hurt her finger. Now look, all I know is that earlier this week he was charged and found guilty, so according to the jury, he did it. If you want more info, then you could just look it up because this is not a news outlet, but hey, y'all can't tell me that this don't look a little goofy. But as you guys can see, this gives Marvel Studios an even bigger problem. Y'all went from having one of the best villains of fiction to having one that isn't even available anymore. And it really sucks because I feel that Kang and Loki are the best written characters right now in the MCU. One might not come back due to his story being complete, and the other is out trying to stay out of prison. What exactly do you do from here?
Once again, luck has been on your side, for that can be the only reason you have survived this long.
Now, ever since this situation popped up, the internet of course rushed to guess, theorize, and rumor up what Marvel Studios' next move might be. And since Marvel has fired Jonathan Majors, everyone is either assuming that Disney and Marvel might A, recast Kang, or B, get rid of the Kang storyline altogether and move towards another villain. Now you're probably wondering, who might that be? And to answer that question, we have to take a look at what Marvel Studios is working towards, which is Secret Wars. Kang Dynasty is probably out of the window now, especially now that they changed the title to Avengers 5 to Avengers 5. Now listen guys, I have no clue as to why these last two phases have been so bumpy, because this should have been easier to do than the Infinity Saga. It is very clear that they are doing the Incursion storyline from Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers, which led into Secret Wars 2015. And we know this especially due to what we saw in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. And guess who the main villain was for Secret Wars 2015? Victor Von Doom. Now, I feel like people have this weird idea of Victor Von Doom due to the movies that he was in. His character ranged from either being okay or being a hot garbage. But if you read comics Doctor Doom, oh, it is completely different. I'm gonna be real. Doctor Doom in the comics is one of the best written villains of all time. To me, this could be the best follow-up to Thanos, specifically MCU Thanos, because comic Thanos is totally different. The reason why I say this is because of what made Thanos so great. It was his ideology, and he wasn't wrong technically. He just went the most extreme way of accomplishing it. His whole motivation was the collapse of his homeworld Titan, and he felt that if the population was reduced, then his home would still live on. Resources just ran out, so he figured out an extreme method that could bring fast solutions. Yeah, half the universe would be wiped out, but the ones who remained would never experience starvation or low resources. He seeked a high level of power that would have solved the problem and is for the benefit of the universe. And also, he had cool ass lines.
I know what it's like to lose. Feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail nonetheless.
Now, Doom at face value is nothing like this. There are really two sides of Dr. Doom. The one that most people usually see is the asshole dictator in Latveria who hates the Fantastic Four and just wants to be the ruler of, well, everything. But if you look past that, then you'll find someone completely different. If you didn't know, the whole reason why Dr. Doom seeks the highest level of power is because his mother made a deal with Mephisto, and he wants to free her. Every year, Doom uses his high intellect and his skills in the mystic arts to try and free his mother's soul, which leads to a team up with him and Doctor Strange. Just picturing these two in a movie gives me the chills. After this team up, his mother's soul finally is set free. It is such a simple way for us to feel and relate to his character. Dr. Doom has boxed almost every Marvel character in history and causes them all problems no matter how strong they are. The best example to use for those of you who haven't read any comics is actually in Secret Wars from 2015, which is what these movies are supposed to be based off of. So to make a really long story short, Dr. Doom got the power of the Beyonders, which are second to the one above all, which is Marvel's version of the big man himself. He then mushed the Marvel multiverse together to make Battleworld and rewrote history to make it seem like everything was always that way. During all of this, a group of Marvel heroes and villains from the Marvel Universe survived, one of them being the Mad Titan Thanos. Now, what I'm about to say here is crazy and one of my favorite Doctor Doom moments ever. The Mad Titan walks up to Doom and talks all this trash saying that he is a pretender and all that jazz. Dr. Doom just walks up and one-taps Thanos, ripping out his spine. Now imagine that in movie form. Tell them I'm cooking. Next year, I believe we are not getting that many movies and the rest are getting pushed back. They really should use this time properly and plan the next phases. And just looking at Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers does most of the work for them already. All they would have to do now is find a way to write out Kang and introduce Doom in a big way. Fantastic Four is coming and I believe Doom will appear in it. So that covers Doom's origin most likely, but what happens after? I think they should go the route of Doom War, the story where Doom attacks Wakanda. I feel like that would really put Dr. Doom on the map as a main threat. Now, before I wrap this video, I want to make something clear, okay? This would all hinge on the fact that Marvel Studios even cares anymore. I'm not saying that they don't, but there's almost no care put into these recent projects. I love Marvel Studios for everything they've done for us in the past, but I mean, look at the state it's in now. They would need a miracle to bounce back, and I believe Dr. Doom, if done correctly, is the solution to Marvel Studios' biggest problem. I'll catch you guys in the next one.